It usually happens at 2 a.m. The world outside has finally fallen silent, but you are wide awake. You are bathed in the artificial pale blue glow of a screen you have been staring at for hours. Your thumb moves in a rhythmic, almost hypnotic motion. Swipe, swipe, refresh. You aren't looking for anything specific anymore. The curiosity that led you here vanished hours ago. Now, it is simply a mechanical compulsion, a loop you cannot break. You feel a distinct physical sensation right in your chest. It isn't tiredness, exactly. It is something heavier, a hollowed-out feeling, a specific type of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. Your mind is racing with the fragments of 1,000 other lives, opinions you didn't ask for, arguments you aren't part of, images of happiness that feel strangely performative. You want to stop. You want to put the device down and rest, but you can't. You are paralyzed by a fear of silence, yet simultaneously overwhelmed by the noise. Validating the listener. If this scene sounds familiar, understand this. You are not broken. You are not lazy. And you are certainly not addicted in the way society dismissively labels you. What you are experiencing is a very modern, very specific psychological phenomenon known as the psychology of digital introversion. This is not the same as being an introvert in the physical world. A traditional introvert drains their battery through social interaction and recharges in solitude. But you are in a unique predicament. You are physically alone in the sanctuary of your room, yet you are socially exhausted. Why? Because the internet has tricked your primitive brain. It has breached the walls of your solitude. You are engaging in what I call passive hyper-socialization. You are silent. You are lurking. You are not posting, but you are absorbing everything, and your soul is tired. Let us look at the evidence of your so-called social failure. You probably have 5, maybe 10 unread messages sitting in your inbox right now. Friends asking, "How are you?" Family members sending updates, or group chats buzzing with notifications. You see them. You know they are there, but you don't open them. Instead, you archive the chat, or you turn off notifications, or you simply wait. And then the guilt sets in. You tell yourself, "I am a bad friend. I am cold. I am neglecting people." Stop. Let me act as your defense attorney for a moment. Let us stand before the court of public opinion and dismantle this accusation. Society, this hyper-connected, dopamine-addicted society, tells you that availability is a virtue. It tells you that if you are reachable, you must respond. It equates instant replies with love and silence with arrogance. But they are wrong. And deep down, you know they are wrong. Your hesitation to reply is not because you don't care about people. It is exactly the opposite. You care too much. You understand that a conversation requires energy, presence, and genuine emotion. And because you are chemically depleted by the noise of the internet, you know you cannot offer that presence right now. So, instead of offering a fake, hollow reply, a generic emoji or a lol, you choose silence. You choose to wait until you have the energy to be real. That is not negligence. That is integrity. You are protecting the sanctity of your relationships from the erosion of digital fatigue. Look at the people who thrive in this digital ecosystem, the loud ones. They post everything, they react to everything. They broadcast their breakfast, their outrage, and their virtues in real time. To them, silence is terrifying because it forces introspection. They fill the void with noise because they cannot bear to be alone with their own thoughts. But you are different. You are a lurker. The world uses that word as an insult. They say you are passive. They say you are voyeuristic. I say you are observant. In a world that screams, the one who listens is the most dangerous and the most intelligent person in the room. You are not hiding, you are filtering. You have intuitively realized that 99% of the information on your screen is noise. It is performative garbage designed to steal your attention. By refusing to participate, by refusing to post, by refusing to comment, by refusing to engage in the algorithmic warfare, you are not missing out. You are preserving your sovereignty. You are keeping your inner world sacred in an era of profanity. So, let go of the shame. Your silence is not a defect, it is a shield. And now that we have cleared your name, we must ask the deeper question. If this silence is a shield, what exactly are you protecting? And why does it feel so heavy to hold it up? Now we must go deeper. If you are not lazy and you are not broken, then what is the engine driving this exhaustion? To understand this, we must look for the hidden variable. We need to consult the work of Carl Jung. Jung spoke of the persona, the mask we wear to interact with society. In the physical world, the persona is heavy, but we can take it off. When you come home, you close the door and the mask falls. But the internet has created a permanent, inescapable stage. Your digital profile, your avatar, your chat history, your curated photos is a hyper-persona. It is a mask that never sleeps. Even when you are lying in bed at 2 a.m., your digital self is still online, still capable of receiving judgment, still performing for an invisible audience. The hidden variable causing your fatigue is persona dissociation. You are pouring so much energy into maintaining this digital construct, this simulacrum of a life, that your true self, your biological reality, is starving. Every time you scroll, you are feeding the machine. Every time you craft a witty comment, you are polishing the mask. But the person behind the mask? The you that breathes and feels? You are being left behind. You are withering. The exhaustion you feel is the metabolic cost of being two people at once. One is a perfect, curated ghost in the machine. The other is a tired, lonely mammal in a dark room. The ghost is eating the mammal alive. So, let us reframe this. Society tells you that your withdrawal is a symptom of depression. I propose that your withdrawal is actually an act of digital asceticism. Just as the monks of old retreated to the desert to find God, you are retreating to the silence of your room to find yourself. You are intuitively practicing what the Stoics called the inner citadel. You are pulling up the drawbridge. You are realizing that the outer world, the digital circus, is not where truth resides. This brings us to the most important concept you will hear today. The alchemists had a word for this state of heavy, crushing darkness. They called it nigredo. Nigredo means blackness. It is the first stage of the magnum opus, the great work. Before lead can turn into gold, it must first rot. It must be broken down, dissolved, and blackened. Your depression, your doom scrolling, your inability to speak, this is your nigredo. It feels like death, I know, but it is not the death of you. It is the decomposition of your persona. Your soul is trying to shed its digital skin. It is painful because you are still clinging to the old way of being. You are still trying to perform happiness when your spirit demands truth. The internet demands constant expansion, more friends, more followers, more content. But nature demands cycles. Winter must happen, leaves must fall, things must die to be reborn. You are in the winter of your digital life, and that is exactly where you need to be. So, do not fight the exhaustion. Do not force yourself to get out there and network. That is the advice of the surface world. Down here, in the depth, we know better. Embrace the nigredo. Let the silence do its work. Let the fake digital self starve, so the real one can finally breathe. We have spoken enough about the noise. Now, let us return to the silence. You do not need to delete your accounts to find peace. You do not need to run away to a cabin in the woods. You just need to reclaim your right to be an observer. I want to create a sanctuary here, a small corner of the internet where you do not need to perform. If you are currently in your nigredo, if you are feeling that heavy, dark transformation, I invite you to leave a record of it below. You don't need to be clever. You don't need to be funny. Just tell me, when was the last time you felt truly quiet? Write it down, not for likes, not for engagement, but to prove to yourself that your voice still exists beneath the digital noise. Read the other comments. You will see that you are not alone in this room. There are thousands of us, lurking in the dark, waiting for the dawn. Phila, stay safe. Stay hidden if you need to. And remember, the silence is not empty. It is full of answers.